Howdy, howdy. It's Trisha Lee. Welcome to the Disruptive Technology Hangout. This is going to be a little shorter hangout than usual. We had some technical difficulties getting on the hangout tonight for whatever reason. I'm not too sure exactly what went wrong there, but we're good to go now. And so really excited because a company, well, no, actually, I think it's educational institution. Larry will clarify for us. But before we get into our topic, just to introduce you, my name is Trisha Lee. I'm here in Alberta, Canada, and I'm with my esteemed partner, Laurier Lever, and he is currently the vice president for King Sunshine Solar Systems and the CEO of TK Environmental. And we've got a lot of projects on the go. And Larry's history as an environmentalist and entrepreneur. He patented and invented a process for recycling plastic back in the 90s. And there was a $1 million company that sprung out of that. And in 2009, I believe, Larry sold his interest in that company and started working with me. And tonight on the Disruptive Technology Hangout, we're going to be talking about this amazing development with photovoltaic power, where some people in Australia have actually broken the record for efficiency. And this is super significant because what it means is that solar power is about to get a lot affordable and user-friendly for people. So Larry, do you want to just fill us in on some of the details of this record that's been broken and whatever information you have to impart to our viewers out there?
Yeah, this is the most incredible development that I have ever heard of since I've been working in the solar industry. They've gone from 22% efficiency, which is a high number. That's for really good photovoltaics. And this is all about photovoltaic technology, to about 37%, which is a jump of more than 10%, which I don't think it's really sunk in with people yet. However, it probably will pretty soon, because ever since the news came out about this technology, the first thing that came across my mind, well, I'd like to mention where I got the information from was through my subscription to Solar Thermal Magazine. And PV Magazine is another one that I subscribe to, as well as Renewable Energy World. These publications all covered the news report except for PV Magazine out of Germany.
Yeah, so just for our viewers' information, I'll just share my screen and we'll just quickly, it's a pretty short article. So it says, how efficient can solar cells be? And UNSW nudges closer to physical limits. And this is just a diagram that kind of shows what they've done here, separating the wafers. If you're familiar with photovoltaics, they have wafers inside the panel that collect the sunlight. But anyway, what it says here, the record was set by Dr. Mark Keevers and Professor Martin Green, Senior Research Fellow and Director, respectively, at UNSW's Australian Centre for Advanced Photovoltaics, using 28 centimeter squared 4-junction mini module embedded in a prism that extracts the maximum energy from sunlight. And that's a picture of Mark. And it says it does this by splitting the incoming rays into 4 bands, using a hybrid 4-junction receiver to squeeze even more electricity from each beam of sunlight. The new UNSW result, confirmed by the U.S. National Renewable Energy Laboratory, is almost 44% better than previous record for solar cells. It's amazing. Made by Alta Device of the USA, which reached 24% efficiency, but over a larger surface area of 800 centimeters squared. This encouraging result shows that there are still advances to come in photovoltaics research to make solar cells even more efficient, says Keevers. Extracting more energy from every beam of sunlight is critical to reducing the cost of electricity generated by solar cells, as it lowers the investment needed and delivering payback faster. The result was obtained by the same UNSW team that set a world record in 2014, achieving an electricity conversion rate of over 40% by using mirrors to concentrate the light, a technique known as CPV, or concentrated photovoltaics, and then similarly splitting out various wavelengths. The new result, however, was achieved using normal sunlight with no concentrators. What is remarkable is that this level of efficiency has not been expected for many years, said Green, a pioneer who has led the field for much of his 40 years at ANSW. A recent study by Germany's Agora Engineering think tank set an aggressive target of 35% efficiency by 2050 for a module that uses unconcentrated sunlight, such as the standard ones on family homes. So things are moving faster in solar cell efficiency than many experts expected, and that's good news for solar energy, he added. We must maintain the pace of photovoltaic research in Australia to ensure that we not only build on such tremendous results, but continue to bring benefits back to society. Australia's research in photovoltaics has already generated benefits of more than $8 billion to the country, Green said. Efficiency alone, made possible by PERC cells, are forecast to save $750 million in domestic electricity generation in the next decade. Cells were invented at UNSW and are now becoming the commercially. UNSW mini module combines a silicone cell on glass prism with a triple junction solar cell on the other. And here it's saying that the result was 34.5 efficiency, which is up from 24%. So it's not quite as high as you said. However, that's a 44% increase. So that's pretty significant. So if you're out there, you can go to Solar Thermal magazine and read the rest of the article yourself. Basically, this is kind of seeing this pattern in my own life, and it's like when we, as an individual or as a collective group of people, when we're seeking, they just come to us. So here where we live in Alberta, they put out a goal. The efficiency record was set. They put out a goal to shut down our coal-fired power plants. And looking ahead to the future and being able to achieve this goal, there seems to have been a lot of obstacles, and there's been this mindset of just believing that when we need it, the technology will be there to allow us to achieve our goal. And it's kind of a pattern that happens all over the place. When you're seeking for solutions, you find them in unexpected places. So from all the way in Australia, and this ability to break this efficiency record has meant that over here in Alberta, Canada, we're going to be able to achieve the goals set by our government. Do you agree with that, Larry? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
What
So,
did you have to add?
as far as this being disruptive technology, it's really disruptive. as I was saying uh, at the beginning of this, where I like to finish where I was saying, is that the after I read the article on Solar Thermal magazine, the first thing that came into my mind was that every solar panel out there just became obsolete. Uh, the work that Professor Martin Green, this guy's not your ordinary solar guy. He's known as the father of photovoltaics, so he's been involved with this for a very long time, since the '60s. He doesn't look that old either. But anyways, what they've done at the University of New South Wales is just, I still can't get over it. By simply using a prism, they're actually splitting the light into four different beams of light, and then taking the four beams of light and shining them on four different solar cells. So the way I understood it, after doing some research on what they had actually done, what they did was really quite simple. They just put the light through a prism, which, when you separate the beams of light, you can send those beams of sunlight in different directions. So up until now, everybody just thought, oh, okay, well, we'll just take sunlight, throw a photovoltaic in front of it, and make electricity. But being able to split the beams and send the beams to different areas is really quite remarkable. And I'm not sure exactly where it's going to go, because when you consider we're familiar with this technology because we've been talking to Spectrolab, who is also King Sunshine Solar Systems has been in contact with Spectrolab, who's another player in this whole project that Martin Green is kind of spearheading, and his team, I should say, because he works with some really amazing minds within the New South Wales University. Um, I just completely lost my train of thought. But yeah, the what I was going to say is by splitting the beams of light, it's really kind of simple, and I don't think a lot of people understand what that means, because a multi-junction cell. Let's break it down. The way a multi-junction cell works right now is light hits the surface of it, makes electricity on the surface, and then there's layers underneath it. So the sunlight somehow passes through each layer until it gets to the bottom, which isn't producing a lot of light energy. The multi-junction solar cells are used mainly in the same sort of work that we do at King Sunshine Solar Systems, with using concentrated sunlight. We're not using mirrors to concentrate the sunlight. We're using Fresnel lenses. So that's why we were talking to Spectrolab about using their product. So I'm not sure exactly how they did this, whether they split the cell into four different layers, or whether they're just, I don't know. That's the only thing that kind of confuses me about what this prism is actually doing on the surface of the solar cell. To me, it sounds like there's somehow separate cells, because when light hits something, it stops, right? You can't. Well, it doesn't always stop. It can go through things that are transparent, as they've been doing with the multi-junction solar cells all along. Spectral has been doing that for years. However, when you're looking at your photovoltaics that are concentrated, I'd like to know more about exactly what they're doing, because um, if you just split the light and then put it on four different surfaces to make more efficiency, I'm not sure how that's actually being um, conducted, like how it actually pans out. It's so there's some gaps of information in here on how it's actually working. I really can't wrap my head around it yet. I gotta study up a little bit more on it because it's new and they haven't even released a paper on it. All we've got so far is what they're saying on the university's website and what is coming out in the news.
Uh, on the university's website, I believe I was looking earlier, and they were talking about not to expect to find these in the like common market right away. Like, not people will not probably be purchasing these for use on like homes or small businesses. They said that they're likely going to be using them in the solar towers, so it would be more of a utility application. And they were also describing that the process for creating these more efficient solar panels is more time intensive and more costly than the current, which is good news for us because we've been looking to break that efficiency record, except I don't think it's that one because that's unfocused, using focused sunlight. So we're working on breaking another efficiency record. But part of the competition in any marketplace is all about and affordability. By the even match their efficiency with what we're doing with the Fresnel lenses, I think we're going to beat them out on affordability because if they're more expensive than the photovoltaics that exist, we already know that we can build our equipment for less than that, I believe. Anyway,
Well,
that's exciting.
I think that, like I said, the so photovoltaics that are out there right now have definitely dropped in value dramatically. Like I can't see why any.
That's because the market is flooded with the panels somewhat. It's the market is a little bit saturated with the panels, but the cost of manufacturing them is still relatively prohibitive, or however we say that. It's still relatively expensive as far as cost is. But then I think that they've been selling them for lower than cost because like how China just overproduced beyond the demand. But I think that the manufacturing costs are still, like, the prices have dropped, but if surplus material is purchased or whatever, the price may go up. You know, it's kind of funky. That I don't know. I'm not an expert on anything. What we do, what I'm doing, I'm an expert. So definitely, it's really exciting that to be able to lower the cost in the over the long term, but it sounds like short term, it's like the whole paradox that we all experience when we are looking at alternative energy, that initial investment. And so the payoff time is probably faster, typical photovoltaics. However, the investment, the upfront investment, are significant by the sounds of it. What else did you learn about these?
What else did I learn about what?
The topic. What do you think? What did you learn about Eskimos today, Larry?
Well, no, you're breaking up. I kind of heard you say something and then it broke up. I can't. This Hangout doesn't always come out clear as a bell. So what I hear is what I hear, and if I don't hear something you're saying, I have to ask you what you're saying. Uh, but the as far as the technology goes, I don't think there's intellectual property on this. So which means China can actually pick it up and start running with it, which means China can actually pick it up and start running with it right away. And the thing with the Prism thing, we work with water clear, or basically water clear, crystal clear silicons and urethanes, which can make prisms rather easily in mass production. In fact, you can, depending on the size, if they need to be I think it said the cell was embedded in the prism, which means it would have to be, if you wanted to produce these things in large quantities, they wouldn't be injection molded. They'd probably more likely be cast. In fact, excuse me, I wouldn't be surprised if that sample in that picture of the guy holding the product, I think it's probably already embedded in some kind of silicon or acrylic based plastic is probably what they use for the prism effect. And that's not really that difficult. Like open mold casting, it's a lot of work, but if you got a lot of molds, you can make a whole bunch of these things. So I don't think it's, to me, being with my background in plastics and plastics manufacturing, I don't think it's a really big deal to mass produce these things. It can be easily done. And hey, if you're up to 40%, might as well start making them before anybody else does. They're not going to be that expensive. The most expensive part is going to be that multi-junction cell. I know those things aren't cheap, because when we were talking to Spectra Lab, they were not cheap little things. They're so tiny. They're like a centimeter square, and they're not cheap. I can't remember how much they cost, because they're a strange company, Spectra Lab. I shouldn't say strange, but they're difficult to communicate with.
I know on the University of, or I think on the university, about the manufacturing process, and there's quite a bit of complexity to it. So, like with anything, when you first prototype or whatever, I'm sure that they'll come up with new techniques and strategies for the manufacturing process. And once mass produce these, definitely the increase in efficiency will make them extremely valuable to the marketplace. And so it has the opportunity to invest in whatever company or whatever they have set up, if there's any way to invest in this at this time, would be a really great time to throw some money at that if you have it, for sure. And then, of course, there's going to be people all around the globe that will be seeking this technology. So there's all kinds of opportunities for, they may want to have it manufactured locations around the globe, and if not, they'll definitely want to be exporting it to so there's potential for be able to, if you had the money, invest in your own with using these this new efficient technology, and being able to provide your own power needs and potentially electricity back to the grid or to your neighbors. And this just opens up like a whole new potential market for a new product is in demand. So but at the same time, it's very tomorrow. well, not tomorrow, but in the next couple of weeks, potentially we could be having a successful test that will all efficiency records, or some other company could come along and totally obliterate the efficiency record and have price that's way more affordable for people. And then your investment, they're doing in New South Wales, could be totally lost if somebody else comes in. And that's like the whole in these hangouts, it's even for our own selves to organize our own thoughts about community here, and like what are the risks, and it's that whole balancing of managing that risk and that potential with any opportunity that comes along. You have to be able to see the timelines are, what the market space is demanding, what it will bear as far as pricing goes. There's like so many variables that play into these things. It looks like a really great or potential opportunity today may be worthless junk. Comes down to, it happens all the time, right? All throughout history. Man and humanity looking for better and more efficient, more affordable ways of doing things, products, services. We just are always seeking for bigger and better things. And so what's, the cat's meow today is just, some material in the future. It's just all the things for become aware of that fact of how, like, the only thing that is the same is that everything is always changing. And when when you have full awareness of that, you're able to maneuver more powerfully in your life. Like, you're able to see those opportunities and you're able to measure them against other opportunities, and you're able to make choices that take risks that definitely some that we've endeavored to do have totally not working out. Things have blown up in our faces, experiments have gone wrong, all kinds of things go wrong, but it just takes that one time for everything to go right to really do greater heights than you may have imagined in the past. So we're just like here encouraging people, just always watching and looking for where the potential opportunities are so that we can people to them, and at the same time see what place these new technologies and what place these opportunities have for us in our own business and life. The efficiency record being broken by the Larry, can you hear me at all?
I just heard you say my name. I guess you want me to talk. A lot of what you were saying there was garbled, so difficult to really comment on it. But I think I heard you say that the as things become obsolete, they're kind of garbage, and I don't know. I think it's difficult to really say that at this point in time. We're not sure what's going to happen yet. But I was thinking while you were talking of some of the stuff I did hear you say, I started thinking about cars and used cars. And so I think what's going to happen is solar panels are going to become that way. You're going to have new solar panels. You're going to have old solar panels stock, like you have new vehicles, old vehicles, used vehicles, vehicles that didn't sell a lot but they're still out there relatively new. So it's going to be kind of like it's a pretty fat market. There's a lot of different things people can choose from. And if you have a lot, the way I see it is, If you have a lot of space and you don't have a lot of requirements for energy, then yeah, you can put up a whole bunch of really cheap solar panels, um, and do the job. However, if you've got no space and you have a large power requirement, then yeah, you're going to have to use some state of the art stuff like this new technology, because there's not really an option unless you pipe it in from a distance, which isn't always that great for solar power. As everybody knows, solar power is best used at the location it's at. You end up having more power available to you.
Yeah, like with anything, transport is always an issue. So for sure,
Yeah, it's really kind of a
uh,
mystery. It's a kind of a mystery.
loss of efficiency.
It's kind of a mystery as to what's going to happen over the next year as we move it through this era of sustainability. I really, I can't stop talking about robots. I think robots are going to be so important in the future, so that humans can do things that they could do.
I'd like to talk about robots on future Hangout. They have on well, it wasn't manufacturing. It was a distribution centers are working on out like lights out. The idea behind it is that they're going to be able to big distribution centers fully functional where there's forklifts and stuff going on right now with robots. And so they won't even have to have robots, don't need lights to see where all these packages are and get them to the right trucks that are taking them where they have to go. It's amazing. It's phenomenal. Phenomenally excited to do a little bit of research into that. And I think that we did here in Canada on Monday, so we didn't do the Hangout, but we'll be back next Monday. And hopefully we'll be starting on time, and potentially we may have some guests with us on Monday. So we may talk about the robots or something. But we'll hear Monday p.m. time, and we just are watching keenly what's going on in the marketplace, and whenever something new and exciting comes out, we will be presenting it on this Disruptive Technology Hangout, just giving our layman opinions on how we think that new technology will be disruptive to the marketplace and businesses, governments, and just general all around the world. The technology has affected all of our lives and will continue to as we move at lightning speed into with things shifting and changing faster than they ever have before. So it's just a really exciting time to with people, to spawn new businesses, services, and products with the ideas that we're sharing. And before we take off here, I just want to invite anyone that may be watching on our free energy page to click the link below. In 1 minute, there will be a presentation starting for another opportunity involved with internet marketing. There's a product line for coaches that the price of that product is going up in a couple of hours. So if you're interested in an internet opportunity, you can click and you can check out. So on with this price increase. I guess if I don't see you in the future, I'll see you out in the pasture. want everybody out there to know that I'm a firm believer that in this life, absolutely anybody can be, do, and have anything they want, or we can have everything we want. And I choose everything, and I hope you will too. So click the button and find out how Project Titan can help you to do that. Barry, have a good night.
Bye.